A simple way to measure our days. Today on Fortitude through Stoicism, and this is my 365-day journey of implementing the ancient philosophy of Stoicism into the life of this modern masculine man. Never does it justice, but I'm in Salt Lake City, just outside, and the sun is coming up over the mountains, so it's absolutely beautiful. And I know it never, ever really does it justice, the camera, but here we are. So just gonna enjoy that for a minute. Gonna be present. A simple way to measure our days. Remember, this is all about mortality and Marcus Aurelius, meditations. This is the mark of perfection of character. To spend each day as if it were your last, without frenzy, laziness, or pretending. I absolutely love this. I say it all the time, but amen to this, right? So the Stoics didn't believe that anyone could be perfect, right? This goal of eudaimonia is in this this constant pursuit of your ultimate flourishing. Remember that. So the idea of becoming a sage, which is the highest aspiration of a philosopher, wasn't realistic. This just was their Platonic deal, the Stoics, that is. Still, they started every day hoping to get a little closer to that mark. So let's wind that back, right? Let's put that in today's spin. You hear it all the time, 1% better each day, 1% better each day. And this is the, Instagram, internet mantra you see a lot of influencers use. But this idea has been around for millennia, and it is in the consistency and the discipline of always working on a craft. Now, in Stoicism, that craft is character, right? Always working on our virtue, living the best life possible. And again, there's debate among Stoics and philosophers about what exactly that looks like. So the question is, can you actually live today like it's your last day? I mean, because honestly, if it was your last day, would you really go to work? I mean, seriously. I know I'm not. Is it even possible to embody completeness or perfection in our character? Is it possible to effortlessly do the right things 24 hours a day? And obviously the answer is no. I mean, that's humans. We're infallible. We have emotions. We have laziness. We have all these things that come through. And that's what sets us apart from other people. So again, I reflect on the quote from Ben Franklin talking about perfection. I'm going to butcher this terribly, but the quote by Franklin, although I have never arrived at the perfection I had been so ambitious in obtaining, yet I was by the endeavor a better and happier man than I otherwise would have been had I not embarked on the endeavor, something like that. And what he's saying is, I'm a much better man because I aimed for perfection, and it was the constant pursuit of perfection, although I came far short of it. He's saying that it's impossible. And that's exactly what the Stoics are saying. It's impossible to find perfection. But I ask, is there a more noble pursuit? I mean, isn't that exactly what excellence looks like? When you look at two teams playing a sport and you see one that they just have all of it together, they're playing at a different level, that perfection, that teamwork, that excellence, we respect that. Or that gymnast, that perfects all of those difficult moves. We respect excellence. That is why I'm so focused on excellence in my character, because I truly believe, and I learned this from John C. Maxwell, best-selling leadership book author. I can't remember which book it was, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. But he's talking about character, and And if you develop your character, everything else will take care of itself. And, as a young man, I looked at leadership different than I do now. As a very young man, I looked at it as a me show, right? Let me just take the team with me. Now I look at it as, hey, let me build up people so that we have an army, right? And John Maxwell says, if you want growth, develop yourself. If you want explosive growth, develop leaders. And that's what I try and do, right? But in order to do that, you have to have the character as an example. So a simple way to measure our days, he's saying, is the mark of perfection of character. How many people do you know that actually actively work on their character on a daily basis? No, I'm serious. Like, how many people do you actually know that are reading something, learning something, implementing something, studying something to make their character better? Most people get it from how mama raised them, and that's it, right? I mean, that's the social shaping, if you will. But even for me, I'm always learning. I'm always trying to perfect my character. And no, this is not to buy my way into heaven or some other shit like that. It's because that's what my responsibility as a man is, right? Is to live the very best life that I possibly can, to be the very best version of myself that I can. And if I'm in alignment with Stoicism, to live each day as it's my last, so that is the judgment for all that precede me. They say in sales, you're only as good as your last day, or in business, you're only as good as your last quarter. Or in sports, you're only as good as your last season or the last game, right? Because the future is never, ever, ever guaranteed. And again, the more that I'm into the Buddhism now and really embracing impermanence, I realize that everything has changed. It has always changed. So as soon as something is happening, I realize that this is not permanent. This is not going to change. If it's good, I understand that this is going to change. If it's bad, I understand that this is going to change. It's like water. And I remember, and I was in the sauna, and I was meditating, and this water sound was playing in my Zen music. And all of a sudden, the thought of Bruce Lee came to mind. I remember seeing a video clip of him. He said, "Be like water." Just be like water. And that was flowing through my head, because water will take up any shape that it can. It's fluid. It moves. It takes the path of least resistance, but yet it can also be an indestructible force. It can carve continents in half, but yet we bathe our babies in it. Compassion and ferocity, all in the same thing. So I think about that. And you may think I'm wandering right now, but these are the ways that I spend measuring my days, right? In reflection of how my character was. And am I in alignment with water? Am I in alignment with the Buddhist teachings? Am I in alignment with my Stoic study? That's how I measure my day. I use KPIs to judge that progress. Now, income is a KPI, body weight's a KPI. All these things are just a KPI, key performance indicator. They tell me a story of what my actions are doing, what they're producing. And again, with the whoop, I track my sleep, I track my steps, I track all this physical stuff, I track all this business stuff, I track all of these things. That's my form of reflection. It's not good, it's not bad. It just tells me a story. It gives me information. And with that information, I know that if I'm spending my days the right way or not. I'm gonna leave you with this. I talk about this all the time. I shared this with my friend Brianna the other day because she was struggling. How do we know if we did enough? Or like some of us, how do we know if we did too much? And so what I do is I set a floor and a ceiling. The minimum floor of the absolute minimum I need to get accomplished to win my day every day. Move my body, invest in my mind, and pour into my soul. So I have to move my body with intention for at least 45 minutes, which is now an hour. I have to learn something with intention, either read, audiobook, or whatever. And I have to do my soul work, which is Stoicism, Buddhism, meditation, etc., and so forth. Everything else, well, it doesn't really matter. Work, good, bad, doesn't matter. It's a day. It is what it is. I did a thing. So that's my floor. Now, if I, by judging my whoop, if I realize that, oh man, I didn't recover that good, I didn't sleep that good, I'm pushing too hard, I only have 30% in the tank, well then I'm okay with hitting my floor. But if my recovery tells me, man, you got a good day, man, 75% of the tank, it's green, you're feeling good, my ceiling looks a lot different. My ceiling is one resistance workout, 2 cardio workouts, a sauna, a cold plunge, and a compression session. That's my ceiling. And again, read, do all my other things, the Stoicism, the meditation, all that stuff. But physically, I have a ceiling. And when I hit that ceiling, I will literally look at whoever I'm with and go, oh, that's it. Time to shut it down. Time to go be lazy. Time to go lay down and watch TV. And that's true because now I don't feel bad, right? I used to be like, oh, man, I could have got this done. I could have got a little bit more done. That's not a good measure of my days. That's not a good measure of my days because that's what leads to suffering, right? That's part of what I'm learning in Buddhism, right? So by having a floor and having a ceiling, I'm in acceptance with my day. 4 Agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz. I'm in acceptance. I had 50%, I gave 50%. So I gave 100% of what I had. And so for me to measure my days, I've set a floor and a ceiling. And that's how I know that I've accomplished my win for the day. And it also takes away that anxiety of worrying that I didn't do too much, or did too little, or did too much, or it takes away the possibility of me over pushing and overdoing and putting myself in a negative state. So a simple way to measure our days for me is a floor and a ceiling. I focus on the things that I can control. I block out all the shit that I can't control, and I just live in the moment. Follow my path. My path is my life plan. My life plan is done ahead of time. So I literally live my life 1 click at a time on my phone. Time to go to the airport? Great, checking in, great, that time. I know the gate I'm going to. I mean, I literally just, to the airport, to the rental car, it's 1 click at a time that my life is programmed into my phone so that I can live and be present in the moment. No decision fatigue. I'm following a plan so that I can focus on executing. That's how I do it, guys. And on that, I'm out of here.